Hey everyone, welcome to Gargoyle Graphics, and today we are going to draw Baraka from the game Mortal Kombat, a game that came out right at the right time for me. I think I was at the perfect age for it actually, and man, it was such an influential game for me, and just the design aesthetics and character design and environments. It was such a big impact on me. And I remember when it came out, I mean, there wasn't a grocery store or pizza joint, or for me, it was the bowling alleys had this game. And, it would be two kids playing it, fighting each other, beating the snot out of each other. And there would be a line of kids, 3 or 4 rows deep, just as eager to watch as they were to play the game itself. And I kind of fell into that category uh, of just eager to watch because I had a little bit of ADD, and so I got so wrapped up in watching the environments and stuff that it was hard for me to focus on actually playing the game. The levels were so immersive. There was so much going on. I just loved watching people play, and you know, eventually was able to come to grips with that and actually be able to play myself. But yeah, it was so much fun, man. The characters were cool, and they had, it was just a straight up side scrolling fighter game, but the characters had backstories, and those backstories intertwined with each other. And it was just kind of one of its kind of at the time. It was just so brutal and bloody and violent, and parent associations were all in an uproar about it. And I remember I worked a part-time job and saved my money, and I ended up buying a copy when it came out on the Super Nintendo, I believe, and brought it home and was sorely disappointed that Nintendo had edited out a lot of the blood and guts. But even considering that, my mom was still upset, and she's like, I don't know that I want this game in my house. And even though I showed her that a lot of the blood and guts had been taken out, she still didn't want me to have anything to do with it. But she was in a bowling league, and so that meant every Thursday night was league night, and she would drag me and my brother to the bowling alley, and she'd give us $5 each for snacks or whatever we wanted to do. And usually that $5 went straight to the arcade. And lo and behold, there's Mortal Kombat. And yeah, every Thursday night we were beating the snot out of each other, and it was a blast. And even all the way through college, I remember having Mortal Kombat 2 on the Sega Genesis, and we would have tournaments at my apartment. And me and my roommate and other guys from school, and come over on a Friday night and smoking and drinking and playing Mortal Kombat. That's what it was about. And uh, then the movie came out while I was in college, and a bunch of us all piled in that Friday night and went to the theater to go see it. And it got a mixed reception from the guys. And the movie's kind of cheesy, but a guilty pleasure nonetheless. I enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it to this day. I'll watch it if the mood catches me right. But it was such a big influence on me back in the day, and still is. I still love pulling up YouTube videos. I don't have the time to play games as much as I would like these days. But it was a big influence. If I listed like my top five influential things, movies or shows or whatever, Mortal Kombat would make that top five list without a doubt. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today is influences and motivation. And I follow a lot of creative types on my various social medias, and during the pandemic, I kept seeing post after post about people that were feeling this funk, the this creative funk that they have stuff to work on, but they just can't seem to get themselves to do it. And which is weird considering the pandemic. Nothing was open, movie theaters were closed, there were no concerts, nothing was going on, which means there's no distractions. So it should have been this environment that was conducive to creative output, and it just wasn't for many people. And I would say, for my advice is to go back and revisit your influences. Go watch your favorite movie, read your favorite book, rediscover your love of why you want to do it in the first place. And for me, that was Mortal Kombat. uh, it's one of my big influences of back in the day. I have a lot of fond memories of it. uh, you know a very quick search on YouTube, I can find all the videos I want on it, and it's a lot of fun. And once you start finding those influences again, I think the motivation will return. And yeah, just keep plugging away. It's easy to get down on yourself. It's easy to beat yourself up. To get lethargic and fall into that trap of, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll be better tomorrow. And sometimes you just got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and make yourself do it. And it's this stuff is work, but it should be fun too. And rediscovering that joy of creating something from nothing uh, is very rewarding. And I think that, again, if you just go back and rediscover why you love it, you know, uh, why you want to do it, and don't beat yourself up if you do have a bad day. It's once you start beating yourself up, it's hard to pick yourself up off the mat and get back at it, but you should and you can. And I think the key point is to have fun. I mean, if you're not having fun, I think that does reflect in the work itself. And this piece here was a lot of fun. I had put a time limit on it, but I ended up getting close to the end of the time, and you'll see me sign off on it. And usually when I sign a piece, that means I am done. I've done everything I can think to do, but I ended up revisiting it and tweaking it just a little bit. And I'm glad I did, because there's nothing worse than coming back, seeing your posted finished piece and having that regret of I should have did this or I should have done that. But again, don't beat yourself up. Get back in the saddle. And I think that once you do get back in that saddle, that it'll start coming back to you, and you'll look back in hindsight and say, what was I whining about? And yeah. So anyways, this was an experiment in the color, or the grayscale to color process. I'm still figuring it out. I think I've got a ways to go before I would say that it's been mastered. Many miles to go before I sleep on that topic, but this one came together really well. I'm really happy with it. The next piece I'm going to post should be within a couple of days, and I hope that you enjoyed this one. I did. It was, like I said, I think it was about 5.5 hours total, and came together pretty good. If you enjoy this video, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing and sharing the link out and getting the word out to watch these videos. I really appreciate your time, and until then, I'll see you in the next video.